Hmm. Daddy, daddy, just like yesterday. How time flies. You're 90 already. That's great. You're 90. You give God the glory. Give God the glory. Thank you, Jesus. Where do I start from? Oh, I really need to talk about that. Funny enough, I had to write them down because I don't want to forget anything. But well, let's see. Let's see where how far this will take us because it will take a lifetime to finish, or rather, in fact, I don't even know. We can't, we can't say it all. We just can't say it all. But at least the little I have here, let me talk about them. I've categorized them in different. I put them in different categories. First, daddy, the disciplinarian. I remember, in fact, I remember way back as children. Let me say when it was, I think I was just like 6 years old, primary one. I remember those days. I received beating, sha. Me, I worry. I worry that child. You see, this time I was talking about, it was in the north, it was in Hausa. Like we always call it at the time. And then this particular they were playing, kids. I still remember my friend, Hilda, Rekia, and myself, three of us. And then we had this small boy also that was also our friend. We call him Bomboy. We went behind the kitchen after we took our baths, as usual. Went behind the kitchen, and then we were like, okay, that small thing between the boys' legs, we want to play with it. And then I had to stay in front. Then Hilda and Erika were behind me to run the queue. And then I was like, okay, one boy, come now. One boy doesn't want to come. So I held I was using it to drag one boy. And then the boy was crying, Kevin Kisinke, Kevin Kisinke, Kevin Kisinke. So when he was doing Kevin Kisinke was when Flora, that's what we used to call her. She now heard her voice from the kitchen window. She peeped and she saw her. Like, stop! It didn't end there. She went to tell Mama. Mama told Daddy. I know then, if Daddy and Mama call you and they lock up that door, you're all done finish. That was how they locked up the door. She beating for me. Mama will give me pie. I will run to Daddy. Daddy will give me pie, push me back to Mama. Mama will push me. In fact, they both held my hands. They were flogging me, and then at some point, my lip just hit the floor. And then blood, and then the whole lip was swollen. That was when they stopped beating me that day. Daddy had to start treating the wound. And then I still remember this one too. When we were in Mexico, I know this time really Daddy was. We were with Daddy because Mama said she was tired of moving up and down, because they kept transferring Daddy like every year. So Mama stayed back, with the older ones, Ejaita, Flora, Sister Ebony, all of them. So Freeborn, me, Ochuku, and Mamu were the ones that were following Daddy about at the time. And then we had Brother Francis that was taking care of us at the time. Basically, we all had our cutlasses, everybody with their cutlass, with their names on it. And then there's this special king that is always, when they say the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. I would say that this one is the fear of king, is the beginning. The fear of daddy's king is the beginning of wisdom. I said that time, daddy has all our kings. The way he does it, mommy will get 3 strokes, or she will get 4. I get 5. Freeborn gets 6 according to seniority. So we dare not do anyhow. So those days, like when we when we return from school, there are times to just sit in the room, and then the next thing we are quarreling, everybody's quarreling and everything. Daddy will call from his room, okay, oh, I think if you are jobless, that's why you have time to be quarreling. And be, oh yeah, go and pick your cutlass. Everybody go, for where? Now send you. Pick up cutlass. Everybody go and pick up. Oh yeah, come. Daddy will just cut portions for us. So yeah, clear this part, clear this part. Maybe you are less busy now. If you were busy, you won't have time to be quarreling. We'll grumble, oh. We'll do whatever we want to do. Oh, we'll still do that work, And that's one thing I always thank God for, because Daddy actually didn't relax. Or rather, he didn't, like like most parents would think some certain type of jobs are too tedious for their children and stuff like that. Daddy made sure we learned the art of farming. We had farms, as in big farms, cassava farms. We go into the bush to fall down trees. We fall down trees to we use the trunk to make fire, to fry gari. We had massive cassava farms. We clear. Sometimes Daddy uses the students at the time, because he was a principal, but there is no way we don't do our own part. And we just fry gari and we do all that. That we take to Warri to go and meet Mama. We sell some of them. Daddy actually taught us the art of independence. We knew how to go inside the bush. We pick coconuts, cherry, and all of that, and then we take them to the market to sell. So those are some very very good virtues that Daddy puts inside of us. Now, Mama Wedi. Okay, let me put it this way: that Daddy is selfless. Daddy is selfless. I want to remember those days of Mama Wedi. Mama Wedi is grandmama, oh, our grandmother, our maternal grandmother. See Mama Wedi's picture. This is Mama Wedi. Mama Wedi at the time, she will. In fact, two of us were always clashing. Me, I don't know why but just for some reasons, she was always clashing with me. You know, Mama Wedi will serve Mama Wedi food. Maybe there won't be meat in the house, so the meat would have finished. Then maybe we'll just left with like two pieces or one, two or three pieces. And then usually we'll just do daddy's meat, no matter what, even if we don't have meat to eat, daddy's one must be two pieces. So and then we had just three pieces of meat left in the soup at the time. So I put two for daddy, then put one for Mama Baby. She will accept too. She will say, well done, thank you, and everything. Then Mama Baby will go to her room and go and hide the food under her bed and wait for daddy to come back. When daddy comes back, she'll just sneak inside daddy's room like this. She'll go and show daddy. See what Mia will give to her. One piece of meat. One piece of meat, she'll be crying. Daddy will call me. What happened? Why did you give grandma one piece of meat? I said, Daddy, we had only three pieces of meat. I put two for you and put one for her. We did not even eat meat. Daddy was okay. You know what you will do? Is my soup still there? Yes, Daddy. Okay, go there. Go and remove one meat from my own and add it to grandma own. Selfless. He always puts everybody's needs above his own. That's one virtue I know about Daddy. He he just wants to make sure everyone is satisfied. He does that so easy and selflessly. Daddy is a peacemaker. Peacemaker. I mean, if you there are issues, just come to Daddy. You don't even need to come to him. He will call you and he will talk to you. I remember Mama Vidi and our mom, apparently growing up, like she did not really, more like neglected her daughter at the time, who is our mom, and um, she really never liked to, they always having confrontation. So, and Mama Vide was living in Kwale at the time. Daddy had to personally go to Kwale to go and look for Mama Vide, and he brought her to our house in Okpesoko. Then Mama Vide lived with us. She was always breaking Ikpogiri, Egusi. Hello. So, yeah, that's it for that. And not just Mama Vide, Daddy, I would say Daddy is kind-hearted. Daddy brings in, you know, all in fact let me say I actually lost count of the number of children that and mama brought into our house that they raised along with us. Nobody was able to tell who is their biological children and who are not the biological children, because we all lived as one. They're the ones that let me try and remember. We had the ones from Benin, from Benigbe. We had Osaro, we had Friday, we had another Friday. The Friday, I mean, we had another Friday. Then we also had Eferenti. We have Esther. We have Isoke. Esther and Isoke, they're actually twin. We have Osaro. We have Osaritin. And then many others like that that lived with us at the time. I can't even remember all of them, So that's how kind-hearted Daddy is. And then, which one again? Daddy reads. So funny enough, none of us took that part of him. Me, I know they read. I hardly read. But Daddy was always, or rather, I think he still reads till date. Daddy is always reading. There's always something that he is reading. That's the truth. And in the house at the time, we have this bookshelf, that has loads of books. We had this encyclopedia. There's encyclopedia volume 1, volume 2, volume 3. I think to volume 20 or so. And then we also had what's this other one? There's this one that was where there's no doctor. I don't forget that one. You know, Daddy had that too. Daddy, in fact, he's actually our doctor as well, because I knew then hmm, every Sunday chloroquine, and it's the chloroquine then. I don't know if it's still the same now. I've not seen chloroquine in a long time. It's usually very fat, as in thick. Once I did call us like this on Sunday, chai chloroquine time, oh, and it has to be 2 tablets to one to for each person, and then we'll now go and get eba, put chloroquine inside the eba, wrap it just so, because that thing used to be bitter, sha. Hey, and that chloroquine, after you take chloroquine, in fact, maybe as at the time when we're taking it like Sunday, we're not having those itches and everything. But when we had malaria, especially me, when I have malaria and daddy gives me chloroquine, the itching. When they say a child that says the mother will not sleep. In this case, it's like a father that says his child will not sleep. That was what I was doing with daddy at the time. When the itching will start like this in the night, I will shout, Daddy! Daddy will wake up with this his wrapper that he will throw on his shoulder like this. He will come say, Mabo, what's up? Okay, man, Dama, what with it? Dama, whoever what's I with it? So, okay, no problem. I'll not close my eyes, I'll manage. Yeah, Daddy! The man will wake up. He will wake up. Then we say, okay, I think there's something he used to give to me. Auntie San, I can't remember the name. So he tells me, no, when you take this, the itching will stop. Okay, oh, no problem. So the itching will stop. No wahala. I will not take it to. For where the itching the past stop. Daddy! One man will wake up again. He will come. He start helping me to rub my legs. He will help me to be, rubbing my palms just so that the itching will go. This is how we disturb him till early hours of the day, of the morning like this. and then maybe I'll start sleeping off gradually. Daddy now said, okay, don't worry. You know what? Since this chloroquine itches you guys, I'll be giving you injection. Hmm. That time was our own. We're not asking questions. So far, we just trust Daddy. Daddy was our doctor. Daddy will not give us injection, chloroquine injection. He said, don't worry, that one will not itch. For real, Daddy need to sleep now. The itching side is like times two of taking the tablets. I would disturb Daddy again. And I just wonder whether I was the only one that was having those itching because I knew I was the only one that was doing that. I used to disturb Daddy a lot. Oh, holla, Daddy, for real. I need to sleep. Daddy won't sleep too. And then along the line, I just said, Daddy, I think somehow, I don't know, somebody told me about fancy down, so that fancy down doesn't itch. I just take three tablets and that's it. I was not like, okay, now I know. And I told Daddy one day, I said, see, it's fancy that will take you. That is a fancy that for me. I think fancy that was expensive at the time. They were selling for 300 naira. And you know that time, 300 naira was like big money. I was like, 300 naira. I mean, fancy that's what I would take. Daddy said, you will take chloroquine. I said, fancy that. Daddy said, chloroquine. Okay, now. So if you want me to take chloroquine, I'm not taking it. Told him. I didn't answer. Okay, now, stay there now. Shebi, you are the one that is sick. I said, I will stay now. Shebi, if I die, you will cry. Don't worry now. I won't take that chloroquine. And then I'll go and lie down on the long couch in the living room. I'll just slap and cover myself. I'll be shivering. Daddy will be walking past. I'll be hearing his footsteps. He will pass. He will come. He will pass. He's just watching me with Bejeru eye. Watching me corner eye. So, and then later he will say, come here, Joe. Come and check fancy that. Then he will give me fancy that. Then I will feel better. ah, I worry. And that's not all. Another thing I was doing at the time, if daddy beats me, if daddy dares beat me, hey, hey, the whole Isoko village will hear. Because at night, especially if he beats me in the night, I will put my hands on my head and I'll be crying. Serious cry. I'll be entering the field. Everywhere will be dark because no light in the village. And then we had generator on, and then you just be seeing the light in the house, but I'll be in the dark inside the bush, then crying and shouting. Daddy will now say, come back, for real. I want to say, I say, Shebi, you want to kill me now? Don't worry. Let me go now. Let me go and die. You are the one that will cry. Daddy will say, okay now, go now, go. And then we had this watch night that was always this security man. We call them watch night then now. The Baba would just be sleeping. Just, snoring anyhow. So I'll be watching the Baba. Daddy will go inside. But for where he will be restless because he knows I'm inside the bush. And then Daddy wants me to come back. For where I won't even answer. Come back, oh. I won't answer him. The man will not go inside. He will stay inside his room for a while. He will come back. I'll be seeing them from the dark. I'm seeing watch night sleeping. I'm seeing Daddy come out, in, out, in, out. I'll stay there. Then I will now calculate when everyone. Then Daddy initially he will say, okay, now stay outside. Now you will not lock the door. I won't answer him. Later after a while, he will go back again. He will open the door because he can't bear to see that I'm outside when everyone is inside. So Daddy will now say, okay, stay there. So me, I'll be watching the man. Then later, after a long while, maybe late, deep, deep, deep in the night, I'll now sneak inside the house from the door. I'll go and hide under the chair. That's why I'll lie down and be sleeping. I won't even sleep. I'll just be watching. And then you see that Daddy will wake up again. He will come out. I will be seeing his legs, his footsteps. I won't answer him. He will go out and be looking for me. For where I know go talk. The man will come back inside. And then he'll just leave the door like that. Because of me, they'll leave the door open. And then he will go and sleep. By morning, I'll just sneak out from under the chair. He won't say anything, he'll just leave me. Me and my me and my wahala. Hey, another one. Daddy is our baba. Daddy our baba. When daddy will barb our hair. the carvings, he will just carve on here. Like it's not this shape of head that I have, this kind of mama shape of head. And they will just carve it inside, carve it like that, and then we'll put pattern. That time we used to like, which kind of hairstyle is this? But do we have a choice? That they will just do it once, carve the whole, use a blade and this to shape the whole form, carve it, and all our forehead will be shiny. And there's something we really love about daddy cutting our hair. When he's doing it, he's blowing our hair. I know that smell from the mouth. We used to like it. So funny enough, when this blade ahead, we just be liking enjoying the scent from his mouth. I don't know what to call it, scent or smell, but we were just enjoying it at the time. For some reasons, I don't even know. Oh my God. So really, Daddy is jack of all trade, jack of all. He does everything. He was, like I said, he was our barber, he was our doctor, he is our farmer, he's our driver. He's also Daddy, which one have I not even said? Let me talk about the driver side. Daddy. Mm, the only car or bus that I knew how to enter at the time was the one that Daddy drives. So I mean that actually that even affected me at some point, because when I eventually was meant to travel on my own, I found it difficult because I was so scared that any other vehicle would take me somewhere else, or they would kidnap me or something. So I just got so used to only Daddy taking us everywhere we're going. At the time, he would just put up, because then he was driving the school bus as well, aside his own car, his ladder. So at the time, he would just put us, he would take all of us on the bus and drive us to Warri with the Gary. And by then, would have done lots of rehearsal. So we'll be singing, dancing in the bus because we're going to see Mama. And then when he's driving and he falls into a dish, we'll go, do daddy. He say, and he'll just be going like this, how he holds the steering. He'll be going like this. The bus went, baka baka, will say, do daddy. Say, He'll just be going like this. He holds the steering as if he's hugging it. Oh my gosh. In fact, there are so many, many, many stuff to remember about our childhood at the time. And then, pepper. Daddy doesn't like pepper. And who is the chief pepper cooker? Ochuko. When Ochuko will cook pepper. Each time Daddy wants to eat like this, especially if it's Ochuko that cooks the food, Daddy wants to taste it, say, "Oh no, chere mu na o, Ochuko, Ochuko. Adi wa gbọ́dọ̀ rẹ̀ mírí emu. Oye ma, mama mi mu. Wọ́n mú ara rẹ̀. Devil, mi kébi ribo yovora mi oke weda. Ile was your boy. But the funny part of all of this is that Daddy, when Mama, Daddy is just so very loving person, to be honest. The life he lived with Mama. Then I used to say, if I don't find a man like Daddy, I won't get married. Unfortunately, I got married, and I got married to the very, very opposite of Daddy. But well, thank God for everything. So I used to know at the time that when Mama makes mistakes, maybe she puts over salt or over pepper in the food when they're eating, because they're always eating together. You see that he's dripping, his nose, everything is dripping from the pepper. But he's still eating. No, Mama will say, "Daddy, my dear, you're gonna, oh, I kill a jelly. I know, no, it's okay. Ojare, will you my child?" And he's eating it. He's meanwhile eating pepper. I think it just a form. But why? Because he has to make his, should I say, he respect his wife, and he has to make her happy. So even though it was a mistake, he knows it was slight mistake from Mama's end, but he will not use it against her like some men will do. Why did you know I don't eat pepper and you put pepper in the food? You know, but Daddy is not like that. Gentleman to the core. Gentleman to the core. That is who daddy is. And I also remember when daddy and mama, when they have issues, when they quarrel sometimes, they say there's no perfect marriage anyway. But I would say daddy and mama, they actually had a perfect marriage, if I should put it that way. I remember then when they quarrel like this, then me and sister Flora would say, hmm, we'll just be watching them. When mama starts talking like this, daddy will just keep quiet. He just sit down there and be watching. When he sees that the talk is not finishing, the poor man will just get up. He will still tell mama, he will go and meet her and say, my dear, Micha, Mira Dingo Balobe, Miki Richa. Daddy just wanted to avoid the talk. Daddy will go. After a while, they will return. So later part of the night, you hear them. They're laughing. Hmm? It's like, oh, that person. Listen to them. The people that were almost, though Daddy has never, Daddy has always been a calm person. He's never been violent. All our lives that we knew that he has never for once been violent towards Mama. So what daddy just does, he has a way of managing situations. So at the time, he will just tell Mama, he just find a way to escape from that moment, and then he returns, and then everything is settled. So it just is just a perfect, you know. I know no one is perfect, but I still prefer to use the word perfect man. So yeah, daddy. Mm. I remember once in Mexico, it was even Mama that was more like the firebrands, you know. Remember in Mexico those days. I know the way it is. Sometimes we the kind of life, the life they lived, kind of made us to understand um, mm, why it's not too why distant marriage sometimes is really not the best because I remember at the time when we were just with Daddy in Usoko, and then there was this woman that was always coming to the house. We are so innocent, we didn't know what was going on, but apparently the woman was just coming and she was trying to put herself in a place that she doesn't belong to. You know what I mean? And then this particular day, I think Mama got the information, like, all these Apoko women inside the village, they kind of get Mama info. And so this particular night, Mama showed without announcement. She didn't tell that she was coming. And then the woman was just there. She was just that he was facing the door and she was backing the door. Mama just came. She timed the watch night. The man was sleeping already. Mama just gathered stones, packed them. Then she entered the house. Oh yeah, take. Bye. Bye. She was giving the woman. Bye. The woman was just went. That was like, hey, my dear, my dear, my dear. But nobody expected her. Daddy ran away right into the school. You know. So later, after Mama succeeded in chasing that woman away, she now went right inside the school, his office, inside the premises. She now went to meet Daddy and said, come, let's go home. It's not you I came for. I already know that all these women will be coming to me. Because they know I'm not here now, they will be coming to shoot their head where they don't belong. Come, let's go back home. So they just have a perfect way of settling issues among themselves. They're happy together. Mama used to tell us, "Asawa na oyibo oji ibio, asawa na oyibo, asawa na oyibo oji ibi." And it is true. Daddy is just a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful man. And I want to thank God for his life. There's something I didn't remember to mention. Daddy, Daddy was our cobbler. Our shoes. Once our shoes get spoiled, Daddy has the twine. He has all those needles they use in fixing shoes. Daddy has all of them. You know, Daddy will get our shoes. He will fix them. Sew our shoes. Don't you make her dey chop our money o. Oh. And then sense of humor. Daddy also has a very good sense of humor. I used to remember when we're brushing, brushing our teeth, and that was like we just go scrubbing our tongue to the brush, and sometimes as if we're dipping it right inside our throat, and then we go, "Rah!" Daddy would say, "Oh, you know, oh, he had advert na adakwara ko VTV we nena, eche ya keki brushing you, whoa, you know." So very funny. So yeah, Daddy. If we keep talking about Daddy, it will take eternity, like I said before. It will take a whole lifetime. There's just so many wonderful things to talk about Daddy. And there's this one. Let me talk about this. Daddy made sure that we don't lose contact with our home, with the village. Daddy was always taking us to the village at the time. And that reminds me, speaking Urhobo, the way they made us speak the language, it's so amazing that you know at the time, when we just returned from the north, then Daddy would just he I remember he told us don't because then we're always speaking Hausa. Daddy would say no more Hausa in this house, no more of Hausa in this house. And so okay, then we start learning to adjust. So when we speak the language, we speak we speak Hausa, and then we mix it with Urhobo. There were times when we're speaking the language, speaking Hausa like this, Daddy, once he hears us speaking Hausa, you just hear on the back, "Phew! Daddy, 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 daddy." Stop speaking Hausa. Very, 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 Hausa, now. That was how we now managed to start speaking Urhobo. And Daddy would take us to the village, take us to Umege. I remember then Daddy's late sister at the time, we call her Auntie Egodo. She's the one that is always in the compound. When we arrive, when we land like this, oh boy, she will be so happy. She will be so happy. You know, she will now. There's this song she uses to welcome us. She sings what's that song? Mabo area wabausa odara yeke mamu yorio. Ewa wogoke o, ewa wogoke, ebucho egwecho, ewa wogoke o, yeah. Let them forget to. And then that mama will go, she will make Antigua, she will make starch, they will make ogo, they will welcome us. Then we'll have this fancy pans that mama used to buy for us, those fancy, beautiful pans that will have this pussycat head, all those kind of, fancy animal pictures. Yeah. So once we enter village like this, then we were like ajabotas of the village. And then there was this particular day, I decided to follow our cousins, Ufoma and Ujere. I followed them to the river. They said I should follow them. I followed them. When we got to the river, and I said, "Do you know how to swim?" I said, "I don't know how to swim." And I said, "Okay, this is how to swim." What's her name? Ojirina went under the water. She squatted like this, and then she came up. She was like, "Okay, you can do it." So I did, and I came up. And then from I said, "Okay, look at this." She just dived inside the water. She was going. She said, "Come, come, come." She was calling me. I said, "Oh, okay, fine." So me too, I now entered the water, but I couldn't swim. I was just walking inside the water. And then when the water got to my stomach level, and the water it was as if it was wavy, like as if the water was going to you know, carry me away. Then I started screaming, "Who for my Yoruba man? Who for my Yoruba man? Who for my Yoruba man?" Apparently, back home, they were looking for me. And people said they saw me following them for me. And then Sister Flora, then she was a sprinter. Then when she was much younger, she was a sprinter. She started running. If you see the race, she started hearing my voice from far. She was running, and then she ran to the river, and then she dragged me out of the water. When I got home, if you see the beating, and Daddy beat me. Hey, as he was giving me on the board, bang! I started peeing on my body. I didn't forget to. Oh my gosh. So yeah, Daddy is so wonderful. Thank God for his life. Thank God for all he has made him to be and all he still is to us today. We just give God the glory. You know, eventually, we at least, he made sure that we speak Urobo. Even though we're speaking it anyhow, there was I know then in the village, they used to call me Ayilele. I was going to say Ayiroyi, I don't say Ayilele, so they started calling me Ayilele. You know, that's my cousin, our cousins at the time, Fedra and all the rest. You know, they were not calling me Ayilele because of the way I used the word. You know, but today we can speak Robo, Maju Robo now, and thanks to Daddy. You know, that's one thing we did not take from our parents. You know, our children, I doubt if any of the children, any of Daddy's grandchildren, I doubt if any of them speak Robo. I don't think any one of them do. We didn't get that. We didn't take that from Daddy at all. We didn't take it from Mama, even though they showed us all of those, examples. But we never did. We just keep speaking English to our children. And today they can't even speak. They don't even know what is ERSF. Honorable. And that is not fair. You know, I really hope that maybe it's not too late. I hope we can start speaking over to them now, just so they can at least have one language to, to their advantage. You know, and then there's another one I didn't remember. Daddy as a disciplinarian, right? Under that category, when we're in Bluetooth and they were sleeping. Hey, when you know you're going to school the next day and they will be sleeping, you won't wake up. Daddy will now come from his room. There are two things he does to us. If he wants to be really merciful with us, he will just bring water and sprinkle water on us. Hey, daddy, daddy. Okay, no problem. Then if daddy really wants to be tough, that king, daddy will just come like this. So you not sleep now. Fear, fear on the bed. You see everybody flying. Daddy, 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 daddy. Oh. You know, we got so used to that flogging and daddy's footsteps when he's coming to the room that it's registered in our brain, even inside the sleep. Once you hear daddy's footstep, inside the sleep, you don't hear the footstep. Fear, he has this trademark footstep that go fear, 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 fear. Once it's coming, once you hear fear, fear, fear in our brain like this, we don't fly from bed. The man will not come. Erection one right now. We dey worry, sha. So really, childhood days was fun with daddy. We actually had more because we stayed more with daddy more than mama. 'Cause most of the time, mama is in worry, so we're more with daddy. So we actually had so much fun. Daddy still reads, so like in the night, like this, like in our room in Bulutu at the time, we had a common door. The door, Daddy, there's a door that links Daddy's room to our own room. So at night you'll be hearing. I'll now wake up. I'll go to peep through the keyhole. Daddy is there reading. Yum, yum, yum. What a man. Daddy, thank you. I really thank you for everything you have made us become today. Um, Daddy never joked with education. I remember when Mama's restaurant, when I was running Mama, I was practically the one doing Mama's doing the cooking and selling. So that thing actually affected my school because then I was attending the afternoon session because I needed to do stuff. I needed to cook. I needed to attend to customers before school time. So my result became very weak. As in, when they give you weak pass as your result. So daddy didn't quite like that, and daddy was like, you know what, you're going to start this. Daddy actually chose my education over the business, and he said, no, this result is very poor. If this restaurant business is going to affect the schooling, then we have to stop it. And that was what happened. I didn't quite like it. I wasn't happy, but at the end of the day, I was able to see why daddy did what he did, because I eventually had to follow him to Bluetooth, where he was posted to where he was transferred as a principal. So, and really, when I left the cooking thing, the restaurant business, yeah, when they shut it down at the time, and I went to Bluetooth, that I picked up again and I did so well, did my work, and and here we are today. You say, so daddy never joked with us. Daddy never joked with education. Daddy never joked with anything that concerns us. He's just been there. He's just been there in everything. He's just been there in every way. I am well. Let me not forget this. I remembered when I was meant to enter the university. I wrote jam, the jam, the way jam is, even if you pass at the time, it seemed like if you don't have the connections, you can't get into school. I had all those nasty experiences. And at some point, I got so frustrated and I was almost like, I think, what is this? I didn't notice that I was getting frustrated over the school thing. He personally went to Delta State University and he picked the prelim form. He told me, go to Abraka, go and do prelim. This is just a 1 year course and then you get into the university. So you don't have to bother your head writing jam and stuff. And really, I went. I did. And funny enough, I had an issue during the prelim. There was a mix up somewhere, and then a particular subject that was mathematics that was meant to have passed. Apparently, one of my sheets got missing, and I failed the subject. And then they really frustrated me because they said they were looking for the script and all of that. They retrieved the script, and they couldn't find it. I got so frustrated. I went back home, and I just like, man, maybe school is not for me. But Daddy encouraged me. He told me, go back, don't worry. It's just, um, it's just for a short time, you know. And he did. He actually did encourage me. I almost didn't want to go back to school, so I only now went back just I think 2 weeks to exams, because at the time I knew, of course, well, it was just going to be a repetition of everything I've done before. So I just managed to go back. That was 2 weeks to the exams. So I did the revision. I did the revision with the class, and then at the end of the day, I took the exams, and lo and behold, I passed at the end of the day, and I started my year one in the university, and all that is time I owe all of that to Daddy, because he never relented, and I knew, how much effort he made to make sure that we take money to school. Himself and Mama, they were doing that until I was now doing some little things at the time that was fetching money, and I told them not to bother, and I was actually supporting myself somehow, and all of that virtue I also got from them. So I, I just want to appreciate Daddy. I want to say Daddy me go Daddy, because it is you. It is if God God made you my father for a purpose, and He has used you to be a blessing, not just to us, your biological children, but to many others, to many other people. People talk about you. When I hear what they say about you, I say, wow, that's my father. So I always say that when God created fathers, He actually gave me the best. He gave me the best. You are the best, Daddy. You are the best. There's no father that ever lived or that's still living that can be compared with you. You are the best. And I want to say Migwa again for everything you've been to us, for your love, for your care, for your support. Even till now, you still worry about us as if we're babies. You still do that. God bless you, Daddy. God bless you, Apoinoku. The Lord will keep you. The Lord will keep preserving you. You have not lived the best part of your life yet. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. So you will live, you will live beyond even your imagination. You know, sometimes you just think, okay, maybe I will live up to this age. No, you are not God. Your life is in God's hands. And that's why we're celebrating God's special grace over your life. And so that special grace will keep you beyond 90, beyond 100 if Jesus tarries. The Lord bless you, Daddy. The Lord keep you. Enjoy your day. Mhm. We really have to groove for this birthday. It does pain me a little bit that I'm not there, but all the same, God knows best. And I'm also having fun here, knowing that you're being celebrated, knowing that you're 90. I'm also celebrating you here. And that kept you. Thank you, Daddy. Me go for everything. Me go for your love. Me go for your protection. Me go for your cares. Me go for everything you taught me. You taught each and every one of us. Me go. Thank you for your patience with us. Thank you. Thank you, Daddy. God bless you, good. God bless you. I love you and I love you and I love you so, 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 so much. Maybe I've not said it before to your face, but I'm saying it now that I love you. God bless you. Bye.